Swami, you want to chant Jayala Damadava, Hare Krishna 3 times? Or any of you?
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Gopi Janava Parivaradare
Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari
Yashodanandana Vrajavarnagara
Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana
Yamunatira Vanashare
Jamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanashare
Jamunatira Vanachari
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Jaya Radhe
Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Jaya Radhe.
Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Jaya Radhe
Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Jaya Radhe.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo.
Nitai Go Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo.
Jai Shishirada Madhava, Shishirada Govinda, Shishirada Shamashundra Ki Jai.
Jai.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
You're welcome, Guru Maharaj.
Srimad Bhagavad, Srimad Nectar Devotion Ki Jai, Rupa Goswami Ki Jai,
Jai.
Africa Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. We'll start with a quiz, the 3 6s. Okay. The first verse has the 6 pushings. So raise your hand so everyone doesn't start shouting. Who can say? What are the 6 pushings?
Raise your hand and speak, or you open your mic. Let's be interactive.
Shilaguru, did you say text 1?
Text 1 has 6 pushings. We have to control.
Okay, I guess I could accept my humble obeisances. The six urges you have to control is, first of all, is the mind, then the urges of the tongue, anger, the belly, the genitals.
And one more. Maybe you said it, but I didn't catch it.
And the first, I said the mind, the urges of the speak, the urges to speak, the tongue, the anger, the genitals, belly, and yes, speaking, tongue, mind, genitals, and belly.
Vacho means words. Vegam means pushing. Manasa Krota, anger, mind, and then 3 in a row. You said the belly and the genital, and then what comes first?
Tongue, belly, and genitals.
Okay, got it. Very good. Thank you. Okay. 6 things which are impediments or are not good for spiritual progress.
What are the 16 that destroy our devotion? Raise your hand. The book is in front of you. Let us be interactive. Benjamin Ampa,
Hare Krishna.
please go ahead.
Thinking unnecessarily about mundane subjects. Okay, sorry. Number one, eating more than necessary, over-endeavoring for mundane things, then talking unnecessarily about mundane subjects. The fourth one, practicing the spiritual rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement. Number five, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scripture and working independently or whimsically. Number five, association with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And the sixth one is being greedy for mundane achievements. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Are you reading that or you remember?
I read out Guru.
Okay, but that's good. But you want to learn it? Okay. And what are the 6 things that are good? Six things that are favorable.
Krishna Gurudev. Gurudev. One is being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to regulative principle, and the fifth, abandoning the association of non-devotees, following the footsteps of previous acharyas. Hare Krishna.
Again?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Gurudev. The one is being enthusiastic. The second
Right.
one is endeavoring with confidence.
Very
And the
good.
third one is being patient. And the fourth one is acting according to regulative principle. The fifth one is abandoning the association of non-devotee. And the sixth one is following in the footsteps of previous acharyas.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Were you reading it also or you learned it?
Hare Krishna Gurudev.
Did you read those off or have you learned it?
I've learned it, but I read it right now.
Okay, but you have learned it. Good. So we need to remember that, in our own life. We get carried away so easily. The tongue, what's the prayer we say for prasadam? Everybody knows that one.
Harira Vidyajai. Yes, Kumraj.
What does it say about the tongue?
It's the most voracious is more voracious and very difficult to control.
And but what are the functions of the tongue? The tongue has 2 functions.
To eat prasadam and to speak.
Right, tasting and speaking. So generally the tongue wants to say anything and taste everything. So human beings, I saw one book, a Christian book about the tongue, how the tongue is so dangerous and can get you in so much trouble. Okay, so my bookmark says we're on verse 5 now. Somewhere in the middle of the purport. Did anyone else mark it? Anyone else mark it? The sentence we're on, it starts with the process by which a devotee becomes attached to Krishna is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then there's a sloka quoted, Diksha Kale Bhakta Kare. Okay, I will read it first. The process by which a devotee becomes attached to Krishna is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita 4:192. Diksha Kale Bhakta Kare Atma Samharpana. Say Kale Krishna Tare Kare Atma Sama. At the time of initiation, when a devotee fully surrenders to the service of the Lord, Krishna accepts him to be as good as himself. Comment? It's a nice definition of initiation. When a devotee fully surrenders to the service of the Lord, that's initiation. Initiation is not just getting a name and three neck beads and, right? And a fire yaga. It means you fully surrender to the Lord. Next, Diksha, or spiritual initiation, is explained in the Bhakti Sandarbha by Srila Jiva Goswami. Divyam Gyanam Yato Dadyat Kuryat Papasya Sankhayam Tasmad Diksheti Sa Prokta Deshikais Tatvako Vidai. By Diksha, one gradually becomes disinterested in material enjoyment and gradually becomes interested in spiritual life. So Prabhupada has explained that one test, if we're making advancement, because we often wonder, is how much we're becoming free from material attachment and how much we're becoming attached to bhakti, to chanting the holy name, to hearing the Bhagavatam, to serving devotees. We can judge our advancement. I'll continue. We have seen many practical examples of this, especially in Europe and America. Many students who come to us from rich and respectable families quickly lose all interest in material enjoyment and become very eager to enter the spiritual life. Although they come from very wealthy families, many of them accept living conditions that are not very comfortable. Indeed, for Krishna's sake, they are prepared to accept any living condition as long as they can live in the temple and associate with the Vaishnavas. When one becomes so disinterested in material enjoyment, he becomes fit for initiation by the spiritual master. Now, sometimes in poor countries, it was the opposite, that people want to join the temple for material enjoyment because they get a house and they get food every day and, things that they wouldn't get otherwise. But if they take to spiritual life, then well and good. When one becomes so disinterested in material enjoyment, he becomes fit for initiation, for the advancement of spiritual life. Bhagavatam 6.1.13 prescribed, tapasa brahmacharyena samena cha damena cha. When a person is serious about accepting diksha, he must be prepared to practice austerity, celibacy, and control of the mind and body. If one is so prepared and is desirous of receiving spiritual enlightenment, Divya Gyanam, he is fit for being initiated. Divya Gyanam is technically called Tad Vigyana, or knowledge about the Supreme. Tad Vigyanartam sa Gurum eva bigachet, Munduk Upanishad 1.2.12. When one is interested in the transcendental subject matter of the absolute truth, he should be initiated. Such a person should approach his spiritual master in order to take diksha. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.3.21 also prescribes tasmad gurum prapadyeta jigyasu shreya uttamam. When one is actually interested in the transcendental science of the absolute truth, he should approach a spiritual master. I think everybody can follow that pretty easily. Initiation means beginning. One should not accept a spiritual master without following his instructions. One should not accept a spiritual master just to make a show of spiritual life. One must be jigyasu, very much inquisitive to learn from the bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries one makes should strictly pertain to transcendental science, jigyasu shreya uttamam. The word uttamam refers to that which is above material knowledge. Tama means the darkness of the material world, and ut means transcendental. Generally, people are very interested in inquiring about mundane subject matters, but when one has lost such interest and is simply interested in transcendental subject matters, he is quite fit for being initiated. When one is actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master, and when he seriously engages in the service of the Lord, he should be accepted as Madhyam Adhikari. Comment or question?
Any comment from the reading? Apurva Prabhu, are you there? Babananda.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Krishna.
Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So as okay, the idea I got is concerning the the level of a devotee who is initiated. He is completely at the level that all the material attachments, all the material connections, he is not actually noted. He's not actually tied to his previous desires. There are so many things that will naturally start disappearing from his lifestyle, so that he gradually comes to the platform of chanting Hare Krishna Well, before now, he's so much attached to the family, education, work, money, and so many things. So, and again, this now makes him to, having lost interest in so many things materially, he now starts thinking of how to advance himself. And eventually, when he does that, it's putting him at a transcendental level. According to the lecture by Maharaj, is talking of losing interest and one coming into the practice. So many times people think that if you take to a spiritual life, it's like you're committing suicide, but actually it's not like that. What happens is the person becomes gradually fixed in activities beyond material connection. And it's even better because eventually what makes one attached is the accumulated karmic reaction over the year. At the time of initiation, one becomes gradually realizing his real identity. So I think that's the much I have gathered from the discussion. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Very good. I think you got it. That's how we're trying to train people who come, so they can actually understand. Okay, I need Kavi to call on the next reader.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Kemastabi, Ugo Buaku, read. You read first, then you will call the next person.
The chanting of the holy names of Krishna is so sublime that if one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly, carefully avoiding the 10 offenses, he can certainly be gradually elevated to the point of understanding that there is no difference between the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself. One who has reached such an understanding should be very much respected by neophyte devotees. One should know for certain that without chanting the holy name of the Lord offenselessly, one cannot be a proper candidate of advancement in Krishna consciousness. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 2269, it is said, Ya Hara Kumala Shraddha se Kanista Jana, Krame Tenho Bhakta Ha Ibe Uttama. One whose faith is soft and pliable is called a neophyte, but by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of a first-class devotee. Everyone begins his devotional life from the neophyte stage, but if one properly finishes chanting the prescribed number of rounds of Harinama, he is elevated step by step to the highest platform, Uttama Adhikari. The Krishna consciousness movement prescribes 16 rounds daily because people in the Western countries cannot concentrate for long period while chanting on beads. Therefore, the minimum number of rounds is prescribed. However, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura used to say that unless one chants at least 64 rounds of japa, 100,000 names, he is considered fallen, patita. According to his calculation, practically every one of us is fallen. But because we are trying to serve the Supreme Lord with all seriousness and without duplicity, we can expect the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is famous as Patita Pavana, the deliverer of the fallen. Hare Krishna.
Very good. That's very simple and clear, I think. Initiation, we promise only one positive activity, which is chanting 16 rounds every day. So that is, if we chant, try to chant attentively, then we'll be protected to be able to follow all the principles. Okay. I think that's pretty clear, but because we're trying to serve with seriousness and no duplicity, we can expect the mercy of the Lord. We need the mercy. Without the mercy, we're not going to get anywhere. But the effort we make attracts the mercy.
Yes, Kumar, just like you said, it shows that if we are sincere and we just chant our rounds, then we can gradually make advancement, just following. We have to be sincere. Duplicity is when we are duplicitous, then we cannot make any advancement. So we have to be sincere with ourselves. And that's why Prabhupada said that steadiness and sincerity is the only way to become advanced in spiritual life. So thank you very much.
Yeah, like duplicity would mean maybe we're chanting, but we're drinking beer or something, we're not seriously just chanting with the right intentions. Chanting for the pleasure of the spiritual master and Krishna. Okay, next.
Benjamin Appa, can you read the next? Benjamin Appa there? Oh, your mic is on, but we are not hearing you. Approval, Prabhu. Go ahead, read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
You didn't share any item on the screen.
You don't have your book there? Hey, Prabhuji, you don't have your book? Bhavananda, read.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, read. Read the next paragraph.
When Srila Satyaraj, the great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
You have to project your voice as if you are shouting in a hall, okay?
Okay, Prabhu. When Srila Satyaraj, the great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asked the Lord how a Vaishnava could be recognized. The Lord replied, Prabhu ke ye muna sine ibre Krishna nam se puja shastra suruka. If one hear the person say even once the word Krishna, that person should be accepted as the best man out of the common group. From Madhya 15:106, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continue. Atviya Mukha Eka Krishnanam Sita Vaishnava Kirat Trasamanam. One who is interested in chanting the holy name of Krishna, or who by practice like to chant Krishna's name, should be accepted as a Vaishnava and offered respect as such. At last, within one's mind, Madhya 15:11, one of four friends, a famous English musician, has become attracted to chanting the holy name of Krishna. And even in his record, he has He has served his home at his home. Hare Krishna, sorry. At his home. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, sorry. I guess I'm called. That's it. At his home, he offered respect to a picture of Krishna and also to the preachers of Krishna consciousness. In all regarding, he has a very high estimation of Krishna's name and Krishna's activities. Therefore, we offer respect to him without reservation, for we are actually seeing that this gentleman is advancing gradually in Krishna consciousness. Such a person should always be shown respect. The conclusion is that anyone who is trying to advance in Krishna consciousness by regarding chanting the holy name should always be respected by Vaishnavas. On the other hand, we have witnessed that some of our contemporaries who are supposed to be graded preachers have gradually fallen into the material conception of life because they have failed to chant the holy name of the Lord. While giving instruction to Sanatana Goswami, the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu divided devotional service into 3 categories: Shastra, Yukta, Ini, Dhananjaya. Sarvana, Madhyama,
You should allow somebody else to read that paragraph. You have finished your own paragraph. Thank you.
Okay.
Mona Gandhari, okay. Guru Maharaj, please go ahead.
No, I'm looking for comments, but this is very interesting. Can be misunderstood, but the first thing is the devotees from Kalinagram, I think, they asked Lord Chaitanya, how do you know a Vaishnava? And he said, if even one time said Hare Krishna, then he's the best man out of the common group. And then he continued, one who is interested in chanting and who by practice likes to chant should be accepted as a Vaishnava and offered respects as such, at least within one's mind. Like somebody may be chanting, they like to chant, but their behavior is not very good. So we don't want to associate intimately with them, but we should respect them in the mind. Then Prabhupada praises George Harrison. We offer respects to him without reservation because he's gradually advancing in Krishna consciousness. Anyone who's trying to advance in Krishna consciousness by regular chanting should be respected by devotees. Okay. Next, scientific, about different kinds of devotional service.
Go ahead.
Okay. While giving instructions to Sanatana Goswami, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu divided devotional service into 3 categories: Shastra, Yukti, Nahi, Jani, Rida, Sradavam, Madhyama, Adhikari, Shei, Mahabhagyavan. A person whose conclusive knowledge of the Shastras is not very strong, but who has developed firm faith in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and who is also undeterred in the execution of his prescribed devotional service, should be considered a Madhyama Adhikari. Such a person is very fortunate Madhyama 2267. A Madhyama Adhikari is a Sradavan, a staunchly faithful person, and is actually a candidate for further advancement in devotional service. Therefore, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 2264, it is said, Sradavan Jana Haya Bhakti Adhikari Uttama Madhyama Kanista Srada Anusari. One becomes qualified as a devotee on the elementary platform, the intermediate platform, and the highest platform of devotional service according to the development of his Srada faith. Again, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 2262, it is said, Srada Sabde Vishwasa Kahe Sudrida Nishaya Krishna Bhakti Shaile Sava Kama Kritahaya. By rendering the transcendental service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. This confident, firm faith, favorable to the discharge of devotional service is called Srada. Srada, faith in Krishna, is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Faith means strong faith. The words of Bhagavad Gita are authoritative instructions for faithful men, and whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is to be accepted as it is, without interpretation. This was the way Arjuna accepted Bhagavad Gita. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna told Krishna, Savam etad ritam manyeyan man mam vadasi keshava. Oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Bhagavad Gita 10:14.
Thank you, Mother. So,
Okay. I think the main thing here, there's a lot of details, but Kanishta, we need to know that. Then there's much more to it, but that comes later. Total acceptance of faith means trusting Guru, trusting Krishna, no doubts. That's real faith.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj also in the purport there mentioned that Madhyama means Sradavan, one who is staunchly faithful. So it means that all of us, we should try to, especially me, I should try to come to the Madhyama platform, because Kanishta means the faith is still feeble, it's fragile. So the Madhyama means someone who is faithful. So Guru Maharaj, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, my question is that if from the Christendom, we saw that Jesus Christ said that one who has a faith as small as mustard seed can move a mountain. Using that analogy of a mustard seed shows that because mustard seed is the smallest of all the seeds. So if he says that by having faith just as small as mustard seed, one can move a mountain, it means that to be faithful in any part is very difficult. So what can you say about this, Guru Maharaj? And how can we build our faith in devotional service?
If you go to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 3, it's all right there. You want to do that?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, 9:3. Let me open it.
Anybody else have access to it? You can put it on the screen.
Okay. Already found it in my phone, but I can put it on the screen for the benefit of others. 9:3. This is Guru Maharaj. Ashara Purusha, Dharmasya Sya Parantapa, Aprapyamam Nirvantate Minitu Samsara Vartmani. Translation: those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemy. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world.
Okay, that's quite simple, right?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. You have to be faithful for you to attain Krishna.
So, especially right in the beginning of this purport, it talks about faith and what it is and how to get it. So somebody read.
Who is seeing the screen? You can read.
The faithless cannot accomplish this process of devotional service. That is the purport of this verse. Faith is created by association with devotees. Unfortunate people, even after hearing all the evidence of Vedic literature from great personalities, still have no faith in God. They are hesitant and cannot stay fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. Thus, faith is the most important factor for progress in Krishna consciousness. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that faith is the complete conviction that simply by serving the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, one can achieve all perfection. That is called real faith, as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 4:31-14. Yatataro mula nisi shanena tripyanti tat skanda bujo pasakan pranopara raksha yatindriyanam tataiva sarvadhanam achuteja. By giving water to the root of a tree, one satisfies its branches, twigs, and leaves, and by supplying food to the stomach, one satisfies all the senses of the body. Similarly, by engaging in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, one automatically satisfies all the demigods and all other living entities. Therefore, after reading Bhagavad Gita, one should promptly come to the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. One should give up all other engagements and adopt the service of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. If one is convinced of this philosophy of life, that is faith.
That is faith.
Okay, clear?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, very clear. Thank you very much. That's very clear, Maharaj.
Now, there's much more to it. So read more.
Okay.
Now, the development of that faith is the process of Krishna consciousness. There are three divisions of Krishna consciousness. Conscious men. In the third class are those who have no faith. Even if they are officially engaged in devotional service, they cannot achieve the highest perfectional stage. Most probably, they will sleep after some time. They may become engaged, but because they haven't complete conviction and faith, it is very difficult for them to continue in Krishna consciousness. We have practical experience in discharging our missionary activity that some people come and apply themselves to Krishna consciousness with some hidden motive. And as soon as they are economically a little well situated, they give up this process and take to their old ways again. It is
Okay,
only by
stop. That's
Okay,
a very important sentence. A lot of times devotees ask if somebody was doing everything seemed really nicely, but why did they leave? So what does Prabhupada say here? Why did some people go away?
because they don't have faith. They only came because they have a particular motive.
Very
And
good.
the moment they achieved it, they blew.
So we have to think about what is my motive? Why am I doing this? And pray to Krishna we can be pure. Okay, carry on.
It is only by faith that one can advance in Krishna consciousness. As far as the development of faith is concerned, one who is well versed in the literature of devotional service and has attained the stage of firm faith is called a first-class person in Krishna consciousness. And in the second class are those who are not very advanced in understanding the devotional scriptures, but who automatically have firm faith that Krishna Bhakti or service to Krishna is the best cause, and so in good faith have taken it up. Thus they are superior to the third class, who have neither perfect knowledge of the scripture nor good faith, but by association and simplicity are trying to follow. The third class person in Krishna consciousness may fall down, but when one is in the second class, he does not fall down. And for the first class person in Krishna consciousness, there is no chance of falling down. One in the first class will surely make progress and achieve the result at the end. As for the third class person in Krishna consciousness is concerned, although he has faith in the conviction that devotional service to Krishna is very good, he has not yet gained adequate knowledge of Krishna through the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes these third class person in Krishna consciousness have some tendency towards karma yoga and jnana yoga, and sometimes they are disturbed, but as soon as the infection of karma yoga or jnana yoga is vanquished, they become second class or first class person in Krishna consciousness. Faith in Krishna is also divided into 3 stages and described in Srimad Bhagavatam. First class, attachment. Second class, attachment, and third class, attachment are also explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the 11th canto, those who have no faith, even after hearing about Krishna and the excellence of devotional service, who think that it is simply eulogy, find the path very difficult, even if they are supposedly engaged in devotional service. For them, there is very little hope of gaining perfection. Thus, faith is very important in the discharge of devotional service.
I don't know if anybody counted how many times the word faith is there.
So many times, Guru Maharaj.
And if you look throughout the Bible, throughout the Gita, throughout the Bhagavatam, it's there so many times. Chanting with faith, serving with faith. Like someone may be chanting out of curiosity, but they don't really believe that it's the greatest thing. They're just trying it. So they don't make a lot of advancement fast. If someone really believes, is really convinced, okay, the spiritual master is connecting me, and this chanting is the highest thing, and I just want to chant with full attention, then we get some benefit. All right, we can go back to the nectar of instruction. And that purport, I think it says, faith is produced by the association of devotees, right? But that means devotees with faith. Because if we associate with devotees who have faith in blaspheming, then we might start blaspheming. We'll be influenced, so we have to be able to recognize and associate with people that really have faith, really want to preach, Okay? So this is the correct way of understanding the Bhagavad Gita, or are we beyond that? Where are we, Kavi?
One should not accept.
Spiritual master, okay. Who's gonna read?
Yeah. Read.
Yes, please.
One should
read.
not. One it's not coming. One should not accept a spiritual master without following his instructions, nor one should accept a spiritual master just to make a fashionable show of spiritual life. One should be Jiyansu, very much inquisitive to learn from the bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries one makes should strictly pertain to transcendental science, Jiyansu, Shreya, Uttamam. The word Uttamam refers to that which is above material knowledge. Tama means the darkness of this material world, and Ut means matters. He is quite fit for being initiated. When one is actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master, and when one is gradually and when one is strongly engaged in the service of the Lord, he should be accepted as a Madhyam Adhikari.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, no. Kavi,
Prabhu,
Prabhu,
this
I
is
think
the
you have taken us back. You have taken us back, Prabhu. We should
Eh.
start from, this is the correct way of understanding, from where Mother Gandhari stopped.
Where is it? Okay.
chapter 64.
Page 54 of Nectar of Instruction.
54.
64.
64.
Okay.
64 of the purport. Okay, is it one should? Yes, one should.
Page
Rest.
64. We should start from this is the correct way
Correct.
of understanding Bhagavad Gita.
Page 64.
Yes.
Okay, this is correct. Okay.
The second paragraph.
Yes, this is the correct way of understanding Bhagavad Gita. Just start from there.
Very good. Very good. So you were attentive. I was thinking you are sleeping. Very good. Thank you. Everybody read.
This is the correct way of understanding Bhagavad Gita. I was called Shraddha. It is not that one accepts a portion of Bhagavad Gita according to his own whimsical interpretations and then rejects another portion. This is not Shraddha. This is not Shraddha. Shraddha means accepting the instructions of Bhagavad Gita in their totality, especially the last instruction, Sarvadharma Paritaja Mamekansranam Braj. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. Bhagavad Gita 1866. When one becomes completely faithful in regard to this instruction, one's strong faith becomes the basis for advancing in spiritual life. When one fully engages in chanting the Hare.
Sabo, you have finished your paragraph. Thank you.
Okay.
Have any comments regarding what you have just read? You can just say it.
The comments. Yeah, I have some comments.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, my comment concerning that is that one should be enthusiastic towards things that pertains to devotional life, and one should always show strong faith. Strong faith means being convinced from one's heart that this process is working. You don't need somebody to chastise you, to wake you up from sleep, or to tell you to chant your rounds, because by that means you have not really gotten initiated into the essence of faith. So being faithful to the cause is you do things according to doing things properly, not waiting for somebody to remind you of that. In other words, you have internalized the concept, and that brings about real faith and a proper understanding. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Okay, you want to carry on?
Jamastami Mary, you read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, there is no Mary there anymore. It's Jamastami Devidasi now.
Ah, sorry, Jamastami Devidasi, sorry.
Hare Krishna.
Please
When
read.
one fully engages in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he gradually realizes his own spiritual identity. Unless one faithfully chants the Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna does not reveal himself. Sevan Mukehi Jihavadu Swayam Eva Spurati Ada Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-234. We cannot realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead by any artificial means. We must engage faithfully in the service of the Lord. Such service begins with the tongue. Sevomukehi Jivadao, which means that we should always chant the holy names of the Lord and accept Krishna Prasada. We should not chant or accept anything else. When this process is faithfully followed, the Supreme Lord reveals himself to the devotee. Should I continue?
Thank you. You can just comment. What do you understand?
Yes, like it is said here, Krishna doesn't accept any artificial means, any artificial services. And also, we should always chant and take Krishna Prasada. That only we should do, nothing else apart from that. Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, you want to say something?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Gopi Priya, you can read.
Hare Krishna.
Go ahead and read.
When a person realizes himself to be an eternal servitor of Krishna, he loses interest in everything but Krishna's service. Always thinking of Krishna, devising means by which to spread the holy name of Krishna. He understands that his only business is in spreading the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Such a person is to be recognized as an Uttama Adhikari, and his association should be immediately accepted according to the 6 processes. Dadati, Prati, Grenati, etc. Indeed, the advanced Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava devotee should be accepted as a spiritual master. Everything one possesses should be offered to him, for it is enjoined that one should deliver whatever he has to the spiritual master. The brahmachari, in particular, is supposed to beg alms from others and offer them to the spiritual master. However, one should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Mahabhagavat without being self-realized, for by such imitation, one will eventually become degraded.
You can stop there and try to deliberate on what you have read. Can you say something? What do you understand? Share with us, or any other devotee after Gopi prayers, give you some comments. You can also share what you understand.
What I understand is that in this text, it is talking about it is elaborating that once you are a devotee, you have to render some service to the spiritual master, because the spiritual master is an Uttama Adhikari, and he is not his position. He is not working. So as we are devotees, and some of us, some of the devotees are grahastas and working and those stuff. So when we work and we get money, we have to use some in the service of. We have to use that money to help and Uttama Adhikari so that he can continue to preach. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Gopi Prayer, let me quickly remind you from the purport there. Are you with me?
Yes, Babu.
Yeah, Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, it says, once, let me read. Such a person is to be recognized as Uttama Adhikari, and his association should be immediately accepted according to the 6 processes. Dadati, Pratignanti, etc. What are those 6 processes of Dadati, Pratignanti? Or anybody want to assist? What are those Dadati, Pratignantis, etc.? What is Prabhupada saying there? How we should relate with our spiritual master? What are those principles of Dadati, Pratignanti, etc.? Somebody want to say something?
Yeah, we had to be careful because we could read this and think, well, I'm a almost Uttamadi or something. We should always think I'm a Kanishta and I'm trying to rise up, you know. But we have to judge too, because but if we got it's better to make the mistake of thinking everybody's an Uttamadhikari than to think everybody's a Kanishta. Because then we might offend more advanced devotees. But we can study this, and then in other places there's, you know, how to relate to all these different types of devotees. You know, a Madhyamadhikari can recognize 4 types of people. One is the Supreme Lord, then one is the advanced devotee, more advanced than him. So you should worship the Supreme Lord, you should serve the advanced devotee. Also devotees that are basically similar to him, we should work together, chant together. And then those who are innocent, we should try to educate them and raise them up. But also we have to know who's the demon and who's the devotee. And so that it requires, you know, intelligence. But intelligence is right there in the Bhagavad Gita. You see, when we read it, everything is there. That's in the next paragraph. You can go on reading.
Nanda Kumar. Nanda Kumar, are you there? You want to read?
Guitar fretboard. Try this. Notice the guitar just blinking.
Mrs. Session. Okay. Nanda Kumar, are you there?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, read.
Hare Krishna. Sorry.
Yeah, read.
In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advised the devotee to be intelligent enough to distinguish between the Kanista Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and the Uttama Adhikari. The devotee should also know his own position and should not try to imitate a devotee instituted on a higher platform. Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakura has given some predica hits to the effect that an Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavis. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has unless he has attained the platform of Uttama Adhikari. A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciple must be on the same platform, and it should be understood that they cannot advise very well toward the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttama Adhikari as a spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then there's different definitions of Uttama Adhikari. It's not just Narada Muni or Prabhupada, but someone who is, it's a description, I think it's in this verse, that if someone is regularly chanting their rounds, that means after many, many years and is determined to preach and all those things, and he can be called an Uttama Adhikari. So there's different levels, obviously, but someone that we have, we know for sure has faith and is determined. Okay. Finished. All right. Anybody want to just give anything they learned from this verse? Very long purport. Just go back to the actual verse. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chet padatibi shabajantamisham shushushaya bhajana hiri man yamanya Nindari Sunya Hridayam Ipsita Sangalabhya. I'm trying to read the Devanagari out of practice. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord Krishna. One should repeat that. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord Krishna.
Please unmute yourself and repeat. One should mentally honor the devotee who chant the holy name of Lord Krishna.
One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer.
Okay. One should offer humble obeisance to the devotee who has undergone diksha, spiritual initiation, and is engaged in worshiping the deity.
One should offer humble obeisance
to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation,
and is engaged in worshiping the deity.
One should associate and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service, and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others.
and one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of
propensity to criticize
others.
Okay. So any comments from this purport or any realizations?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, my contribution is on the first line, that one should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord Krishna. That one should offer humble obeisances to devotee. If one mentally honors the devotee, there won't be any the possibility of criticizing will not be there. And Prabhupada said somewhere that when one criticizes, is fallen, because whatever that happens to a person should be considered as his own karma, and he should thank Krishna for making such provision. Therefore, there is no need to criticize someone, even though there may be offenses from the other side. So one should learn that initiation or diksha is to place one at the platform of worshiping the deity in the form. And we all should appreciate such a person who has taken this, or who is even aspiring, but in his mind he has taken. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, good. That's very good. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Gurudev. In the verse, I understand that we should all endeavor to try and do sadhusanga. We should all endeavor to associate with pure devotees. It's very, very important, and also we should honor them. When you see someone who's higher and someone who's doing something great, you should try and appreciate and honor them, respect them. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Okay. So what are the three types of adhikari, levels of faith? We just talked about. What's the lowest?
Kanishta Adhikari is the lowest.
Okay, Kanishta.
Madhyam Adhikari is the middle, and then Uttama Adhikari is the topmost.
Very good. Okay, and what's the word that comes up again and again and again in the purport? The essential factor. You said faith, right? That's right. And how is faith produced? By association. Okay. You want to move to verse number 6? Who can read it, Sanskrit?
Dritai Swabhava Janitai Vapusha Shado Shair Na Prakrita Tvam Iha Bhakta Jana Sapashet Ganga Basam Nakalubu Budada Fena Pakair Brahma Dravatvam Apagachanti Nira Dharmai.
Tristai Sabhava Janitai Vapupascha Doshaya Na Prakritatami Abhakta Janasya Pashe Gangam Vasamna Kavakudu Dapena Pankaya Brahma Dravitam Apagachati Niradharma. The words Dristai.
Dristai.
Everybody read it. Seen by ordinary vision.
Seen by ordinary vision.
Swabhava Janitai.
Swabhava Janitai.
Born of one's own nature.
Born of one's
own nature.
Vapusha.
Vapusha.
Of the body.
Of the body.
Cha.
And
Dosai by default.
Dosai by default.
By default.
Not.
Not.
Prakritatvam, the state of being material.
Prakritatvam, the state of being material.
Iha, in this world.
Iha, in this world.
Bhakta Janasya. Of a pure devotee. Pasye, one should see.
One should see.
Ganga
Ambas.
Ganga water.
Ganges water.
Not. Kalu, certainly.
Certainly.
Buddha, Pena, Pankai.
Buddha Pena
Pankai.
By bubbles and mud.
By bubbles,
foam, and mud.
Brahma Dravitam.
Brahma
Transcendental nature.
The
transcendental nature.
Apagachati is spoiled.
Apagachati is spoiled.
Niradharmai. Characteristics of Vata.
The characteristics
of water.
All right. Someone to read the translation.
Translation. Being situated in his original Krishna conscious position, a pure devotee does not identify with his body. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee having a body born in a low family, a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or infirm body. According to ordinary vision, Such imperfections may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee, but despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like the waters of the Ganges, which sometimes during the rainy season are full of bubbles, foam, and mud. The Ganges waters do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water.
Note that Prabhupada's original Krishna conscious position. He says that so many times all throughout everything. And still people are saying, I can't believe it. You know, God made me this way. No, we fell away. We rejected, you know, our original conscious. Now we're getting it back by Krishna's grace. Okay, purport. That's a very long verse. I don't know if you ever been to the Ganges. It's a very interesting river. Unique. You know, the government of India, they try to discourage, you know, religion, where they were. So they'd always point out how polluted the Ganges is. So many dead bodies will be floating in it. So much sewage is put into it. So much, you know, everything. But if you just take your cloth and pour the water through, that water will be completely pure. And you can keep, like if you buy a bottle of water, whatever brand you have there, it'll say used before a certain date because it'll get contaminated. But the Ganges water you can keep for 30 years and it's still pure. And even if they put germs in the Ganges water, it changes, becomes pure. So it's unique in that way. And scientists have never been able to understand why that happens. We know because it's coming from the lotus feet of the Lord. It's water from the causal ocean. Okay, purport.
Sudha Bhakti, the activity of the soul. Proper, in other words, engagement in the transcendental loving service of the Lord is performed in a liberated condition. The Bhagavad Gita 14:26. In Bhagavad Gita 14:26, it is stated, Mam chayo vyabhi charane bhakti yogena sevate saguna samatit haitan brahma buddhaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature, and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Avya Charini Bhakti means unalloyed devotion. A person engaged in devotional service must be free from material motives. In this Krishna consciousness movement, one's consciousness must be changed. If consciousness is aimed towards material enjoyment, it is material consciousness. And if it is aimed towards serving Krishna, it is Krishna consciousness. A surrendered soul serves Krishna without material considerations. Anya bilasita sunyam, jnana karmadi anavritam. Unalloyed devotional service, which is transcendental to the activities of the body and mind. Such a jnana, mental speculation, and karma, fruitive work, is called pure Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is a proper activity of the soul, And when one actually engages in unalloyed, uncontaminated devotional service, he is already liberated. Sagunan Samatitiyaitan. Krishna's devotee is not subjected to material condition. Even though his bodily features may appear materially conditioned, one should therefore not see a pure devotee from a materialistic point of view. Unless one is actually a devotee, he cannot see another devotee perfectly. As explained in the previous verse, there are three types of devotees: Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari cannot distinguish between a devotee and non-devotee. He is simply concerned with worshipping the deity in the temple. A Madhyama Adhikari, however, can distinguish between the devotee and non-devotee, as well as between the devotee of the Lord. Thus, he treats the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee and the non-devotee in Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotee and the non-devotee in different ways. No one, okay. Hare Krishna, should I stop there?
I read, no one should criticize the bodily defects of a pure devotee. If there are such defects, they should be overlooked. What should be taken into account is the spiritual master's main business, which is devotional service. Pure service to the Supreme Lord, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 9:30. Apiche Sudarachiro Bhaja Tema Anayo Bhakt Sado Eva Samatmavya Samyag Vyashito Hisa. Even if a devotee sometimes seems to engage in abominable activities, he should be considered a sadhu, a saintly person, because his actual identity is that of one engaged in the loving service of the Lord. In other words, he is not to be considered an ordinary human being. Even though a pure devotee may not be born in a Brahmana or Goswami family, if he is engaged in the service of the Lord, he should not be neglected. In actuality, there cannot be a family of Goswami based on material consideration, castes, or hereditary. The Goswami title is actually the monopoly of the pure devotees. Thus, we speak of the 6 Goswamis headed by Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami have practically become Mohammedans and had therefore changed their names to Dabira Kasha and Sakara Malika. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself made them Goswamis. Therefore, the Goswami title is not hereditary. The word Goswami refers to one who can control his senses, who is master of the senses. A devotee is not controlled by the senses, but is the controller of the senses. Consequently, he should be called Swami or Goswami, even though he may not be born in a Goswami family. According to this formula, the Goswamis who are descendants of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaita Prabhu are certainly devotees, but devotees coming from other families should not be discriminated against. Indeed, whether the devotees come from a family of previous acharyas or from an ordinary family, they should be treated equally. One should not think, oh, here is an American Goswami, and discriminate against him. Nor should one think, here is a Nityananda Vamsa Goswami. There is an undercurrent of protest against our awarding the title Goswami to the American Vaishnavas of the Krishna consciousness movement. Sometimes people flatly tell the American devotees that their science or title of Goswami is not bona fide. However, according to the statements of Sri Rupa Goswami in this verse, an American Goswami and a Swami and a Goswami in a family of acharyas are non-different. One, on the other hand, a devotee who has attained the title of Goswami but is not born of a Brahmana father or of a Goswami in the family of Nityananda or Advaita Prabhu should not be artificially puffed up by thinking that he has become a Goswami. He should always remember that as soon as he becomes materially puffed up, he immediately falls down. This Krishna consciousness movement is a transcendental science, and there is no room for jealousy. This movement is meant for the Paramahamsas who are completely free from all jealousy. Paramam Namatsaranam. One should not be jealous. He of Goswamis or has the title of Goswami awarded to him, as soon as anyone becomes envious, he falls down from the platform of Paramahamsa.
Okay,
if we consider the bodily defects of a Vaishnava, we should understand.
Hold it. You read 2 paragraphs already. So,
okay.
Prabhupada, sometimes devotees ask, how do we know if we're advancing? Or Prabhupada said, you can test yourself. If you're jealous, if we're feeling jealousy, then we're not advanced. If we're not feeling jealousy, then we're becoming more advanced. That's simple. It's envy is ultimately envy of Krishna. And that's what brought us to the material world, being envious of Krishna. So I just thought that's what's mentioned there. There's so many families in India. They have, depend different parts of India. The Brahmin families are called Goswami. Some places they're called Sharma, different names, and they think that just because they have that name, they're Goswami. But it's not a hereditary name. It's a title for someone according to the qualities that are in the first verse of this book. Vacha Vega minus the Koda Vega. If someone can control these 6 pushings, then he can be a Goswami and initiate the people all over the world. Not just because he has a name, but he lives a simple life and collects donations just because they have the name. Okay, we just have a few minutes. Anybody want to comment on that section? We have more devotees here today than other days, much more, 16. Thank you all for coming. Very encouraging to see that young people want to hear the Bhagavatam and hear the nectar. And so many other things you could be doing. Only the most fortunate, intelligent people will want to hear this. Okay, we can read one more paragraph then.
Sorry, Guru Maharaj, the next section was we'll be starting the next 4 minutes, Guru Maharaj.
What? Okay, we'll just stop.
Yeah, the Bhakti by Baba will be starting the next, yes, Guru Maharaj. We have to stop this for that to start. Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Is this Bhakti by Baba or Bhakti Shastri?
This is Bhakti Shastri. The other, the Bhakti Vaibhava is after this. Immediately after this, now we're starting Bhakti Vaibhava class.
Thank you. You are now a lady.
I thought this book was Bhakti Vaibhava. Okay. Where is the Bhakti Vaibhava? What are they studying? Who's the teacher?
Now there is another group, and Ekatma Prabhu is a teacher now. So
Who is?
Ekatma Nitai Prabhu.
What are they studying?
Now they are in Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay. Thank you all very much. Let's have a little kirtan. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare.
Bye bye.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
See you
Krishna.
tomorrow, Guru Maharaj.
Hare
Same time.
Jai.
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 Jai.